Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Y'all, I've been wanting to do this for a long time with my scraps. Stay tuned. Every year I say that I'm going to get my paper scraps under control, and every year I don't because I craft and I generate more and more scraps. And sometimes it just seems to be a losing battle, but I think I have a system that's going to work for me. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to stop by, and welcome to all of my new subscribers and to all of my new friends. Welcome back to all of my longtime subscribers and longtime friends. Thank you guys so much, so much for the wonderful ways in which you support me and my channel. So throughout the Christmas season in particular, I shared a lot of my scraps with you guys, and I've shared them throughout the year as well. And I have some really large paper scraps that I'm not quite ready to get rid of. From time to time, I will purge some scraps that are very small or I can't think of a use for them. But these are quite considerable in size. I have a whole bin of them, and I'm going to show you a way that I'm going to start storing my scraps so that I can incorporate them into the next season's crafting. So I'm going to flip to my overhead camera to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. So when I was crafting for the holiday season, Thanksgiving forward, I had a couple of these plastic storage bins and I just threw my scraps in there. I didn't have them in any particular order. I just threw them in the bin so that I could get them out of the way. Well, as I'm going through the process of making sure that my craft room is organized and ready for successful crafting in 2023, I decided that I would do something about these scraps. And I have them in a variety of shapes and sizes, and I'm going to show you not only what I plan on doing with the solids, but some of the things that I plan on doing with my pattern scraps as well. So the first thing that I need to do, and I'm not going to do it in this video, I've already done it on a smaller scale, is I need to go through and start sorting. Sorry about that crinkling. Start sorting my scraps by pattern and by color. And so what I'm doing is I have all of these already somewhat sorted. And then I went on Amazon and I found these plastic scrapbook paper sleeves. So they hold 12 by 12 and they can hold up to 60 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. That's what it says. I haven't tested it, but I do know that it will hold quite a bit. Now we can make sleeves like this using those Dollar Tree chopping mats, but you wouldn't get them to be 12 by 12 and you'd have to join them. So that's why I went out and I found these, and I don't think that these were very expensive. I think you got 24. I can't remember the price. It might have been $15 or $16. I'm not really sure. But this is a nice flexible and heavy plastic. And here's what I'm planning on doing with these. So I've already started one and I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I took this red and I decided that I would get it ready for use next year. So I took part of it and I cut it into 1.5 by 12 inch strips. And you can see that I have quite a few of these. So I'm now able to take these next year and turn them into bows just by making a few strategic cuts. Then I have these smaller ones. These are 1.5 by 6. I'm able to make smaller bows with these, and I went ahead and put them in plastic. And then I have these that I actually need to cut. And then I have some 3 by 12 inch strips. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but I went ahead and scored them all the way across every 1/2 inch so that next year when I'm ready to make some rosettes, all I need to do is cut straight down the middle at 1.5, and I'll be able to make some rosettes starting with pieces that measure 1.5 by 12. So this is something that I'm going to be working on in between crafting. It's not something that I'm going to sit down and do in 1 day or 2 days because it's a very monotonous task. But if I do a little bit here and there, I can eventually get my scraps under control and in a usable form for next year. And then I can also decide how much of the leftover scraps do I really want to keep? So I've already started on this pattern. I'm just going to take them and put them back in my little baggie here. And these will lay flat in my calyx. So as I'm making these, I can take them and just place them flat in the calyx and stack them up this way. It'll be very easy for me to see the color that's on the inside. So that is how I'm going to be working my scraps. So the first thing that I need to do is just go ahead and find all of my like patterns and place them in my sleeve. I'm not really concerned about the sizes at this point. I just need a starting point of getting these sorted by pattern and color, and then I'll be able to go back and start cutting these out into the sizes that I think that I'll need to work with next year in my Christmas crafting. And I'll cut them into strips, or I'll cut them into squares or rectangles, whatever it is I think I might want to be doing. All of these, I will cut some into rosette sizes. I will cut some into bow sizes. So I am just filling this up. And a lot of you will remember these patterns, but you can see that I now have each one of the patterns in its own sleeve. So as I'm going through the rest of my scraps, I know that I have more of these patterns in a couple of other bins. So I'm going to go ahead and just match them. And then I'll be able to take each one of these and stack them in my calyx. And you can see how they actually stack. So they'll go in there and they'll fit in there nicely. Then when I have some time in between crafting, I can just go grab one of these sleeves and decide how many of these patterns do I want to cut into a size for rosettes, how many do I want to cut into a size for bows, how many do I want to cut as background mats, possibly for a cut apart that I might be using next year. And y'all, the same is true for my solid colors. So I'll just go ahead and sort these, because all of my shades of blue will go in one sleeve. All of my solid shades of red will go in one sleeve, as will the other colors that I have. Now you might think that these are too little to save, and they're actually not. And I'm going to show you why they're not. So even though I have sizes like this, sizes like this, or this, I'm going to share with you what I'm thinking. So for sizes like this is 4 by 5. I can actually take it and just go ahead and cut it into a size that would be workable for a 3 by 4 cut apart. So this would be a 3 by 4 cut apart mat, and I would make a stack of these from the blues along with other sizes in that blue, because now I can take these and I can just cut flags. So there are so many different things that you can do with your scraps, and I really am going to get better at how I store these scraps so that when I'm ready to start crafting, I don't pull out another blue sheet to cut. I'll look in that blue bin, and I'll probably have something in the blue bin that I can use. And see, now that I have this, I can actually take something that would say, oh, Frosty Friends. We can put that down like that. So this is my plan for my scraps. I'm not going to throw them away, because I'll be able to use them in my crafting next year, whether I make them into a flag or I decide to take a long strip like this. This very quickly becomes a banner page for one of the crafts that I might be doing next year. So this is why I'm going to go through all of my scraps, and I'm going to sort them and place them in their own plastic sleeve. And I have some more blues that I'll go through and do that with. I have my greens. These will make great background mats. And again, we can always find a way to use items like this. So that can be used to mount that by just taking a little bit of glue and putting that right there. So you can actually create a little journaling spot here. You can create a tag. There are so many different things that you can do, but those are my plans for my scraps. First things first, I need to get all of my colors sorted and in the same sleeve. I'm not going to do all of these on camera, but I do want to give you an idea of what it is I will be working on in between my crafting. So if I happen to be at home just watching TV, I can take my bin with me and a few sleeves, and I can go ahead and just sort and get everything sorted. Then I can go back and start doing the other things that I might want to do. And so that is my plan. So once I get them all sorted by sizes, I am just going to take them, trim away any information bar that might be there. Now I have a piece that is 3 by 12. I'm going to take that 3 by 12, and on the 12-inch side, I am just going to score every 1/2 inch. And then I'm not going to do anything else to this except create a group of these and put them in the sleeve so that next year, if I want to make some rosettes that are in this pattern or this color, all I have to do is go to my scrap sleeve and pull out one of these and then just cut straight down the middle, and this is enough to make one full rosette. So I'm just doing a little preemptive planning on what I'll be doing with my scraps next year. And then the same is true for this piece here. It is a 3 by 12. And then I'm going to take it on the 3-inch side and cut 2 strips at 1.5. So now what I have here are 2 strips that I can loop like this, make a few strategic cuts, and I've created a bow. So I now have 2 strips here that can create a bow. I can create a bow like this. Then I can take some more scrap, whether it's red or green or white, and I can create the little tails that hang out. So this is how I'll be using all of my scraps. I will be taking those scraps and I will be segregating them first by pattern, then I'll do my solids by color. Then as I have free time, I'm going to go ahead and just take some of these scraps and decide how I might want to use them next year, and go ahead and prep them so they'll be ready when I need them next year. So I get the question a lot of how do I store my scraps? I have not always been the most organized with my scraps. I think I have a pretty good organization system for my chipboard because I do something similar to this. I take light pieces, rubber band them, and then I write on the front what size it is, and I store them. So when I need a piece of that chipboard, I just go grab that scrap piece. But here for my scraps, I have decided that I am just going to segregate the way that I just showed you, and then define the purpose for the pieces in the sleeve and segregate those within the sleeve. Hopefully that made sense, but you can see that I have a good start going on some of those Christmas papers that you saw me using this year. And with the sleeves, I do think that it's going to help me to become more organized because I can store them in my calyx system, or I can store them in a box if I want. But I am just thinking that once I get all of these the way that I want them, I am just going to stack them in my calyx. So I hope that this look at how I plan on first taming, then storing my scraps from 2022 so that they'll be useful to me in 2023. I hope that this has helped you. If you have a way that you're storing your scraps, leave it in the comment section below because we have a lot of newbies and your ideas and suggestions will also help them. So make sure that you leave how you're doing your scraps in the comment section below. But as always, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you join this amazing online crafting family. You guys, as always, please be safe, be kind, be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.